Greetings, everyone. My name is Lisakhanya, and today I'm here with my partner,
Luleka Lisakhanya.
And today we're going to discuss about The Bloody Chamber, the novel. This novel was written by Angela Carter, and it is about a very young girl who married with a very rich man, the Marquis, and she was 17 years old. She was a virgin, and she found out about the bloody chamber, and she found the dead bodies there in the bloody chamber.
Yes, as Lisakhanya has mentioned, that we'll be discussing The Bloody Chamber, which draws inspiration from another novel written by Charles Pollard named The Blue Bed. So the difference I would say in these two novels is that The Bloody Chamber is written in a more feminist perspective, and the fact that in The Bloody Chamber the woman becomes the hero, and in The Blue Bed it's the brothers that become the heroes. So in today's episode or podcast, we'll be breaking down into questions which link back to The Bloody Chamber, of course. Which the first question is that, do we agree or do we not agree, and why? And sits in the statements by Angela Carter about The Bloody Chamber, with does The Bloody Chamber expose how elite men use fairy tale fantasies to lure or control or exploit women, or does The Bloody Chamber exposes only individuals such as the Marquis, and not the fairy tale fantasy or happy ending as a whole? And also be looking at another question which speaks about how does Angela Carter transform the motives of happy ending and happy fantasies into unsettling Gothic narratives, looking at stylistic devices such as characterization, settings, your atmosphere, and so forth.
Yeah. And also we're going to discuss how Angela Carter challenges the traditional tropes in the novel, which challenging the norm.
Okay.
Yes. In the first question, I do agree. Actually, I do agree.
Okay.
The Marquis used the fairy tale fantasies like money, marriage, and luxury life to hide his true self.
Okay.
Yes, and the narrator reveals how fairy tales can set women up to fall for the illusion for love, the illusion of love and protection, while hiding the violence underneath. For example, the narrator was tempted or was attracted by the money and the luxury, and she ignored the signals. She ignored the warning, just as a fairy tale teach women to be passive and trusting.
Okay. Yes, I would like to say I share the same sentiments as you. I also agree on the first statement of, I think it exposes how elite men use fairy tale endings, fairy tale happy endings, to lure, control, and exploit women. I say this because in this case it gives women what they expect. I say this because Angela Carter does not only critique the Marquis, she examines the whole framework of the fairy tale itself, and how it can be harmful in some cases, meaning that the idea of a happy ending often marks the serious issues and power dynamics between women and men, and also exploitation. I say this because the story suggests that women can shows that how women can overlook red flags and be sold the dream, by being sold the dream, giving what they want and what they expect from happy endings, and not looking at the fact that they do not know who are these people behind closed doors.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Also, the Marquis used the trapping of a fairy tale wealth Gothic castle, and expensive gowns and gifts, yes, as means of isolation and possessing the narrator.
Okay.
His wealth gives him the power, yes, to curate her reality.
Or which it makes it easy for them to lure them, because they know that almost every woman wants a happy ending at the end. So I understand. Okay, now moving on to how like Angela Carter transforms these happy ending fantasies or narratives into unsettling like Gothic narratives. That firstly we need to understand what an Gothic like narratives, which in this case I think are narratives that have like a pro-rolling like atmosphere, like they consist of like terror, horror, and most like narrative Gothic narratives use like castles, this long prolonging passages or corridors that like represent terror and an atmosphere of suspense, and like wondering what's gonna happen next. So that's why.
For instance, in this novel, the dark environments, like castle, amplifies the symbol of a forbidding and vulnerability. Yes. The mirror and ropes serves as a potent symbols of justification, control, and the heron's struggle for autonomy.
Yes, I also like to agree on the part of the mirror, because the Marquise puts like these mirrors in the room of the heroine. And in a sense, when we talk about characterization, we could also include that we can define the Marquise as a stock Gothic character, because it's giving off like stalking her in a more sexualizing way. Because like, why would you put like mirrors all over the room, such as like giving him as this like dark stock character, because like he wants to have that control of always watching and always seeing what she does, and giving in terms of like sorting also. In this case, the sorting is like his doings of putting all the lilies, the flowers lilies, which represent a smell of death. I think in my case it gives off his plans of like turning in his castle, the scary castle of his, into a graveyard for his wife, but at the end he killed his wife and puts them in that castle, so it gives off that sense of horror and suspense,
She also reveals symbols like mirror, blood, darkness, to convey themes of identity and violence. If I would make an example of a public figure, Oscar Pistorius. Oscar Pistorius, he was charming, and he would do like things that would make us to clap hands, us as audience or friends, clap hands for him, while
hiding.
While hiding that he's abusing his wife, because he killed his girlfriend. Sorry, he killed his girlfriend. His girlfriend in 2013, and he claimed that
it was a mistake.
Yes.
So I agree in the sense, because it also gives like what we always see is not like what behind,
because the things, the things they posted on social media,
and even hers, I think as a girlfriend, I may not know, but I think that she was charming. He gave gifts. He, showing that how wealthy men use like the fantasy ending of every girl's like maybe not like maybe almost every girl's like offer a happy ending. So lastly,
we're going to discuss how Angela Carter
challenges, yeah,
the
traditional truths,
yeah.
I think in this case it's the normal of what we expect it's gonna happen, or how it's gonna end, like in fantasy narratives. In this case, I believe that she uses, like, as, because we know that the primary role of the woman in this is in the narrative is to support and be obedient. But in this case, we can see the heroine is trying to discover, or is determined to discover, the truth behind her husband's true identity, and which means not following the rules, or not even like listening to not open that, to take that certain key which she was told not to take, and go and open the room so that she can find out what's happening. And also we can see that we know that the more expected of what is expected in the narratives is that the man will become the hero, the man will become the savior, who's coming to save the woman in distress. In this case, her mother becomes the hero and saves the girl, which, I think that in that way Carter challenges the motives of, like, women can also, be heroes, and women can also take charge and not do as they are told, as expected. So yes, that wraps up our podcast because of time and our podcast. Yes, and thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching. Yes.